Greetings from Alberta. Um, Today, I have more to report on the workhorse I saw that was coming down in the whirlwind. Some of you may be aware of that. This video is only for a few people at this point in time, anyway. So you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the workhorse and when I talk about the whirlwind. But recently, the Lord has been speaking to me prophetically about a plow horse, something I encountered when I was just a 4-year-old growing up in Nova Scotia. Now, for context, I will give you a bird's eye view as if it was the opening scene in a movie. The year is 1953. You were looking down at a small town neighborhood on the outskirts of town. So it's on the fringe of the town. It's one of the newer streets. The street is called Churchill Street, which of course the name connects itself to Winston Churchill. It's a post-war situation. It's the boomers, the baby boomers. That's what's going on here. Our house is at the end of the street and is buffeted by to the west by a small forest of trees. It seemed like a forest to a little kid, is my point. Beyond the trees, there is a small local farm. There is a marsh to the north, and just beyond the backyards for the dozen or so houses that are on that side of the street. As you're looking at the neighborhood, you don't see any fences separating the backyards. It's pretty much a continuous succession of backyards. And you can see little kids freely roaming through the backyards of the neighborhood. Now, most of the backyards in those days in that neighborhood, and probably a lot of other neighborhoods as well, had vegetable gardens in their backyards. It's just the way things were done in those days. Kids were out there roaming freely, playing all day long, getting dirty, and getting healthy. Now I want to draw your focus to another perspective. But you're coming down into this backyard, the bird's eye view, and you see two 4-year-old boys that are sitting in the garden. And this garden is being plowed by the local farmer. And he's using his very large, spotty gray workhorse, as I recall. Now the perspective is shifting so that you can see things from the perspective of the two 4-year-olds. My friend, his name is Dalton. We are sitting in this garden and he is teaching me how to tie my shoelaces. All of a sudden, this large horse is directly over us. You can see the shadow. We look up at the underbelly. I can smell the horsey smells of this large horse, and I can hear his sounds as he apparently very carefully stepped over us to be above us, but not to trample us. So Farmer Giles pulls us out from under the horse. He scolds us and sends us along our way as we cry on our way to our mothers. quite a traumatic experience for a couple of 4-year-olds, I would think. But this is a true story. It's a true story. Prophetically, what God has shown me, and I'd never understood this before when I had this memory, but prophetically speaking, what he's telling me is that this was a demonstration of Amos 9:13, going back 71 years. So Amos 9:13 in 1953, for a 4-year-old boy, experientially imprinted in my memory for today, to be activated today, 71 years later. From there, back in 1953, from the place of that garden, from the place where that horse was plowing, from the place where that horse stood over us, I want to prophesy from Psalm 71. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, O God, till I declare your power to the next generation, your might to all who are to come. Now, figuratively speaking, after saying all of that and describing all of that, figuratively speaking, I will say, I am still trying to lace up my shoes. That's the message. Now, except that I want to say in closing that if God saw fit to give this demonstration of Amos 9:13, 71 years ago, to a 4-year-old boy, and have him recall that memory and relate it to Amos 9:13, I think is reasonable to suggest and to claim and even proclaim that God is serious about this and he's going to do it in this hour, in this day. So thank you for listening. Bless you. Amen.